Hello, welcome to Shooting Better Scientifically, the science and magic of developing champion kids. I am Tammy Stewart, one of your co-hosts tonight. And
I'm Chandra Plate from Kansas, and my video isn't working yet, but hopefully it will before the end. But if it doesn't, you'll still get me in heart and voice. How's that?
that's awesome. And we have a moderator tonight. He moderated for us a couple years ago when we started Coordinator Coffee, and now we have him back on Shooting Better Scientifically. And it is the new coordinator for National 4-H Shooting Sports, who assumed his position in August, Scott Stewart. Scott, would you like to say hi?
Hello, everybody. Glad you're here joining us. Welcome. I'm looking forward to moderating and taking this thing forward. So thank you very much for attending.
And just a reminder how this works is we will go through about a 20, maybe 30-minute program. And then we turn off the recording for the second half called the second shot to discuss anything you would like to about 4-H shooting sports. So with that, tonight, to kick off our new term of doing shooting better scientifically, we have building a 4-H vision tonight. And in the way of shooting better scientifically, we have success markers. So what we're expecting to see here in the next 20 minutes is for you to write down the 2024 vision for your 4-H program. We would like to see you actually make a vision board, which you're going to see here in a minute. And we'd love to see you, once you get that completed, to share your vision with others. Chandra, what's this up on the screen?
Oh, wow. It's the youth thriving model. We love this. A researcher by the name of Mary Arnold looked into the magic hat of 4-H and asked what magic was happening that creates youth who become successful in their studies as well as their job or career. Creates someone like the 4-H leaders on the program tonight who are engaged civically, giving back to their communities, who are employable and can survive economically on their own, and have a general happiness or well-being in their life. The magic turned to science, as now we know from her study what is the magic. Over the next 5 to 6 months, we'll be providing programs for you to motivate you to put the science of the magic of the 4-H Youth Thriving Model into practice in your own 4-H program. But first, we have a question for you.
And so the question is, we want you to type in the chat, what factors contribute you to, as a 4-H leader, to being thriving in your role, and what contributes to burnout? And so type those two answers in the chat. Chandra, what's on your mind tonight when you think about what helps you thrive in 4-H shooting sports, leadership roles, and what burns you out?
What helps me thrive? We're just coming off of a state training in Kansas for our shooting sports leaders, and watching leaders learn and grow just really helps me thrive. That's my spark. That's where I love to be, and that helps me thrive a lot. What burns me out? That's a good question. Probably not working in my strengths. I like to find people around me who have strengths that I don't have, who are very different from me, because I think we make good teams, and it helps me to have people around me who are good at the things that I'm not so good at.
Great. When I think about thriving, what makes me thrive is I get to be creative and I get to teach. I'm doing those two things, I'm in a really good place with 4-H shooting sports. What burns me out is logistics and paperwork. If I have to do too much of that, that's when I go to my burnout side. Scott or Chandra, what are we seeing in the chat?
It says a lack of parent support or wearing too many hats.
Driving is seeing varied interest of kids in the program, seeing participants improve. And helping coach others helps them thrive. Kids having fun. A lot of kids having fun.
Thrive on the look I get when either a new instructor or new youth has success. That's pretty cool.
Burnout, time constraints, resources, not enough resources.
Lack of parent participation. Having parents complain.
So what we want from you tonight is to start thinking about those two items. What do you want more of? And what do you want less of? And how can you turn that into something that you do want? And so what I did is I thought about my role as being one of the advisors for the Nebraska 4-H Teen Sports Ambassador Program. So this is the vision board that I created. And so you can see starting over here on the left, with ambassadors doing their job, leaders are passionate, they're ready to go because they've met these great young people. They're introducing new pathways, new ways to be involved in 4-H shooting sports. You go to the middle, they're being named as role models right alongside the coaches' names that are coming up. I want to see 12 new ambassadors trained each year. So we have this really strong advocate, mentors, coaches, teachers that are like going across the state and teaching. So going to like kind of my burnout goes down to the bottom. One of the things that kind of burns me out is I love our system of bringing in ambassador alumni to be advisors, but they are going on with life. One went to medical school, one had a family, one is currently serving with me, and I'm very excited about that. So I put together this vision down at the bottom that 1 out of every 4 ambassador alumni are coming back as advisors, but to keep those kind of on the edges that wouldn't have time to do this, they're at least coming back to share with the new ambassadors their impact story. So that's kind of how I rephrased the burnout part into a thriving part. And then 50% of all Nebraska 4-H shooting sports clubs have a yearly ambassador visit. And so those are some of the different things that I put together when I think about what program am I creating a vision board for.
But why, Tammy, would you why not just write it down? Why go to all this work and create a vision board?
So because here's the deal. The research is showing that you're 42% more likely to have it come true if you write it down. You're 65% more likely if you add images. That's like why I added that arrow of going from less than 1% to 50% on my arrow of yearly club visits. And you're 95% more likely if you actually tell somebody about it. So that way you declare accountability. And we thank Debbie Slews from these stats that she shares. So what's the science then behind creating the shareable vision? This really came to me when I was doing what's called a mastermind group with coordinators at the national training. And I was saying, like, please give me solutions of how I can have this influx of ambassador advisors coming in and help us be sustainable. And that's when it really hit me. A vision board lets me go to our current ambassadors and even let them know that that's my vision. And not when they hear it, but they see it, they're more likely to remember it. So hopefully once they're an alumni, they're coming back to help us. So Chandra, what's our first best practice in creating a shareable vision?
You have to state it as if it has already happened.
And you will notice, going back to my board, we'll take a look at it. Absolutely, we need to do that. Also, we don't want it to be permanent, because refining your vision board, you're going to learn new things over these next couple months that will help you expand on, ooh, I didn't even know that was possible. And we don't want this to be a one and done, because the 4-H motto is to make the best better. So what's the last tip on creating this vision, Chandra?
Move your vision over to a celebratory board when it's accomplished. So each piece of that would go over as it's accomplished onto a board that celebrates those accomplishments.
And what's great is if you have a team of parents or a team of instructors or even your team of 4-H members that are in your club, you all get to celebrate together like, oh my gosh, we said this would happen and it did. So how exciting is that? So you can look at here and see how we stated all of that in the positive.
Is
So
that
here,
truck in the
we have that 50% of all of our Nebraska 4-H clubs have ambassador visit yearly. That hasn't happened, not even close to that. But we stated in the positive as if it has already happened. Sorry, I think I jumped ahead on this then. So to be clear, we know that you have a operation plan for your club and your risk management in place. And the vision board does not take the place of those. Keep that in mind. Your vision board will be there for growth, not necessarily how you're operating now. And so if you look at the, sorry, this is going so fast, but if you look at the 4-H Shooting Sports Ambassador operation plan, which this is probably more colorful than a lot of them, you'll see where it has what it's about and what is the criteria and what they can expect, along with the expectations we have of the ambassadors, and then where we're going with the mission of the program, and then what the general umbrella of Nebraska 4-H Shooting Sports is, and then a little history here to like, you can be a part of this. So that's the operation plan, right? And then how to get in touch with us. Where a vision board is going to be about the future versus how we're operating today. So Chandra, how do we go about using vision boards?
So the vision board is used to help remind you of where you actually want to go with your vision, and not just it's not just a step-by-step process, but it reminds you of the dream. In fact, I have a vision board I'm looking at right now that's hanging on my wall for something else, and it just, every time I walk past it or look at it, it reminds me of the vision for what my board is built around. And so building a vision board for your 4-H club or for your shooting sports project is a really neat way for you to remind yourself of what's the dream, where do you want to go.
I was just about to ask you if you have your one that has the cows on it, because I knew you had that vision board.
Yes, I do. That's the one I'm looking at.
And even here, like mine is on paper, but this is my personal vision board that has my travel and my career goals and things like that on it. So that's always in front of me. So it's reminding me the direction I'm going. So when we look at how would I use this one that I created for ambassadors, first off, to let clubs know to invite an ambassador, right? This is that 50%. So I can let them know about that goal. And then to also ask sponsors for funding for the travel, so our ambassadors can afford to go do that many visits. To invite team leaders already in the clubs to start taking on some roles with teaching, so that way they're ready to apply to be an ambassador, and to ask our current ambassadors to be involved in the future. So this weekend, Andrew is doing our ambassador training at our leader certification. So definitely want to make sure I ask him to share that with them. And then here to encourage 4-H members to apply and to remind the coaches to encourage the 4-H members to apply and to become a part of it. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use these. So it's time to now get busy with creating your vision. So with this, the first step you do is you state a goal or vision for your 4-H program. So Chandra and Scott, what vision would you be putting on your brainstorming list?
So I've got 4 of them for my brainstorm list on the national end. Is that by December 1st? Well, first one is by December 1st of each year. I would like to have at least 2 states that have sent in applications to host a leader training. Another one that I have is that by December 1st of each year, I have 1 state that has submitted an application to host our ambassador program, ambassador training. I also want to host a level 3 instructor conference every other year. And then in the off years, we would hold a coordinator conference. So 1-year coordinator conference, 1-year level 3 instructor conference, just for training and getting everything and people involved. And the last one that I've got right off the top of my head is I'd love to have a $2 million endowment set up for the National 4-H Shooting Sports Committee to work off of, to host the leader trainings and all the other things and curriculum development that we're doing.
So Chandra, would you like to share some of your vision or who you'll end up sharing your vision with for Kansas 4-H shooting sports?
My vision isn't quite as specific as Scott's, but it's pretty big and broad, and that is that all of our youth in Kansas get a chance to experience a sense of belonging through 4-H shooting sports, whether that's at an event where we are promoting 4-H shooting sports, or whether it is at a school that we go to, or whether it's in our 4-H shooting sports clubs.
Awesome. So listening and thinking about everybody else on here too, who are some of the groups or people that you need to share your brainstorm, or if you make the vision board with? So who's on the top of your mind, Scott and Chandra?
Well, my first one, I'm going to share it with National Committee. And then be able to share it then again with our current sponsors and any potential sponsors.
Great.
Yes.
Chandra, go ahead.
I would share it with my my state 4-H program leader and extension director. But I see in the chat people are saying share with your county extension agent, and that is definitely the person that you all need to be sharing with, because your county agent needs to, and your county coordinators need to be in on this broad idea and this vision that you have.
Great. So what are some of the images that you're thinking about adding to your vision board that would portray these ideas to the people that you'll be visiting with? So when I'm thinking of like the level 3 coordinator conference, I'm thinking of like just putting past coordinator conferences on there. And so then you have that, like, we can also do this with level 3s. What are your thoughts on that, Scott?
Yeah, that's a really great idea. Another aspect I was thinking of is like that educational conference or educational aspect to it. Because it is an educational training. It's it's professional development is what it is. So it's whatever portrays that professional development aspect.
So it might be topics that you'll be covering, or maybe even locations where you would like to have it. Would be another great image. So now that you know how to go about this process by stating your vision, figure out who you'll share it with, what you'll say when you share it, and then coming up with your images, you are ready to make your own vision board. Because we want 95% of your youth to be experiencing your leadership, your ideas, and what you have for the future. Chandra, do you have any more thoughts on that one?
I just want to say that doing a vision board for me personally has been a really good it's been a really good thing to remind me the direction I want to go. And if you keep that vision board in front of you, it will also, you know, be more likely to manifest if you do these things and talk to other people about it as well. So it's pretty, I think we're in exciting times where we can accomplish a lot, but we have to take those steps to move forward.
I'm thinking we need a vision board for shooting better scientifically. So thinking about what creates youth thriving in your 4-H program. Now, what is your vision? And how are you going to communicate that with others so you're not doing it alone and other people can jump on your bandwagon or on your bus to help you carry it out? So at this time, we'll remind you that we have 2 more dates set. We have more time set all the way up through next spring, but these are 2 to get on your calendar. We'll meet again on November 21st and Monday, December 18th. And we hope you'll be able to join us. And of course, these are always recorded if you cannot join us live. And with that, we'd like to thank everybody for attending, and we're about to go into our second shot where you can discuss anything you like. Thanks, everybody.
Jamie, they're going to be the same time, 6:30 Central.
Yes, the next 2 are. We might look at changing when we share some of the others.